going on, everyone? It's Nick. I just wanted to show you guys a day in my life as a young captain and things that I face and have to do for work. I figured it'd be a pretty unique angle that no one really gets to see that much. So we're currently hauled out in Stuart, Florida at a shipyard called Willis, and we're getting a custom project done on the boat along with just routine maintenance. So we came out of the water initially to install these handrails on our swim platform of our boat. And part of the handrails are the bases that they plug into on the swim platform. And to install the bases that these handrails plug into, we have to have access to the underside of our swim platform in order to do this job. So we had to get hauled out. So I'm just gonna give you guys a walkthrough of everything that we have going on. Here's the boat. It's a 2025 Y72 Princess. It's a beautiful boat, great riding boat. I get the privilege of captaining this full time. Zero complaints from me. Some minor stuff, every boat has minor stuff, but she's been really good to me. I'm enjoying this boat so far. This is my new ride. I just picked it up a couple weeks ago. 2017 F250. Has some goodies too. Very happy about this purchase. I'll go more in depth on this truck in other videos. But it's pretty cool that I get to pull the truck up right here next to the boat. Very convenient. But this video is really about the boat. So one thing you look for when you pull the boat out of the water is inspect your zincs. We have a diver that comes every 2 to 3 weeks, depending on time of year. They gotta come twice a month to scrape out the bottom and inspect our zincs, essentially. So we just had the bottom scrubbed before I came up here, maybe a couple days before I got hauled out. So I get to actually see if my diver's doing his job. That's one thing that's kind of funny with divers is it's hard to inspect their work, especially when the water's dirty. Like, you're not gonna go under and put your hand over every single inch of the hull to make sure he's doing his job. So this is a good testament to my diver. He's actually doing a good job. Back to this bow thruster. We're inspecting this, making sure everything is good on here. The blades are good. The bottom paint looks good on them. Zincs are in good shape because he just replaced them. But one thing I noticed, thank God I noticed it. This zinc was on here really loose and the screw had backed itself out. Bolt, I mean. And that's because of vibration. This vibrates a lot underwater. One thing I really suggest that you guys do, if you're replacing zincs out of the water, use some Loctite and don't go red, go blue. You want this to actually come off. The diver didn't do it because he was underwater, so it doesn't really work underwater. As a result, I'm gonna go ahead and put some blue Loctite on it, tighten it up, and shouldn't come off. Another thing that you want to check while you're out, if you have stabilizer fins, this Y72 Princess does. Just want to check and make sure everything's in good shape. Like, this is a little bottom paint missing from something hitting it in the water. But sometimes you can hit really firm, solid stuff and it can do some damage to the fin. So I'm basically just inspecting overall shape of the fin, the side, underneath. And then also, I like to look inside, make sure there's not too much growth. I'll be getting rid of some of that growth. We have the base prop speeded, so that's pretty nice. It's looking like it's holding up fine to me, so I won't replace it this go around. I'm gonna leave that coating on there. I like to grab and give these things a tug too, see how they move. All right, so I'm not really feeling any play. Turning it side to side gently. The seal feels good to me. So it's in the lock position, but it still moves a little bit right now. All this water coming out is the brine on my reverse osmosis system. So I'm plugged into a pedestal over there, and you plug into the boat. Basically, we have a system that gets rid of all the minerals in the water. It makes it spotless, so when you rinse the boat down, it doesn't leave any hard water spots. I'm talking, you can literally rinse glass in the sun and walk away and there's not a spot left. It's pretty amazing. But this water is what's coming out of the filtration system where all the minerals are in it, so it's called brine. I also check all of my through holes and water pickups, So this guy had prop speed on it. It's a bit worn down to the point where I'm gonna have it redone. These are for the main engines. I like to make sure there's not a ton of growth up inside of there. Sometimes barnacles will grow up inside of your through hole fittings. And I'll take a screwdriver or a wire wheel, wire brush, get up in there and get rid of some of that growth if I need to. It's not looking too bad, but the prop speed coating on it is definitely cooked. So I'm gonna have these sanded down and I'm gonna have them recoated again. These are for my air conditioning raw water pickups. Same thing with these. They're cooked. So I'm gonna have these recoated as well. Oh, look at that, there you go. Nice little chunk in there. Look at that. Probably an oyster in there. But yeah, that's what I'm talking about with growth. So we'll scrape all that out, sand, prep, and recoat these. Working our way back a little further, I have 2 water pickups here. Same thing, I'm gonna have those redone. Here's my main shaft for the port engine. Starboard's obviously on the other side. Something you wanna inspect on here, there is a device that measures if your shaft is not straight or if it's true. So we're gonna have these inspected to make sure that they are straight with no bends. That should be the case. This boat has never touched bottom. From what I can tell, I know I never have, but I don't believe the captain before me has either. The props are looking pretty good. One thing that is a wear and tear item on this is the seal up in here, right? And it's supposed to keep water out of the inside of the boat, but also allow the shaft to pass through. Ours turned out to be bad, so we are gonna have to replace both. You don't have to pull your shaft out to replace your shaft seal, but we had something else that was bad with ours too, which is our cutlass bearings. You have one in here on the front side of the strut, and then there's another one on the back side of the strut in here. We did a test to see how much clearance we had in between, and it's above the tolerance, so there's a lot of play. So it's time to get these replaced. Now the boat is only 1.5 years old with 350 hours, but by pushing a lot of power and higher speeds, the boat can cruise at 30 knots, anywhere from 25 to 30 knots. 30 knots is 80% load on this setup. So technically that's a high-speed cruise. You can run the boat continuously at that load percentage. We run it a little less than that, but basically by running at that speed with this much power, you know, a very big shaft. There's a lot of torque coming through these engines. So you're gonna burn through cutlass bearings fairly often. I would say every 300 to 400 hours, depending on how you're running it. We run this boat at speed a lot. We don't really idle too much. We also high-speed troll with the boat, which is funny for a princess, but you know, it's also putting load on these bearings. So don't be shocked if these things go out after a year, 2 years of usage on this particular setup, like a Princess Y72 or another high-speed performing yacht. Here's inboard side of the shaft so you can see what the seals look like. So in order to get access to both sides of the bearings, we have to slide the entire shaft out. Now sometimes you can press them out without having to slide the shaft out. We can't with our setup, unfortunately. And our rudders are directly behind our props. So, as you can tell, in order to get the shaft out, the rudder's gonna have to come out. So we'll be pulling the rudders, pulling the shafts, props are coming off too. There's a bit of wear and tear on the prop speed here and the rudder, so we're gonna go ahead and get that sanded, prepped, recoated, and then same with the props. It's time for these. Everything under here is 8 months old. We pulled out for our custom handrail project, but you know, while we're out, we're just inspecting, making sure anything that needs done is gonna get done while we're out. And the strut as well, as you can see, it's got some wear, so that's also gonna get sanded down, prepped, coated. I'm back at the stern of the boat. I have the swim platform lowered right now just so I can reach and have better access to clean back here. Prior captain of the boat, you can show you there's some left. I haven't cleaned it all off. put Colonite metal polish on all the metal and just like coated it and let it dry. Some of you guys are familiar with Colonite, obviously the orange color. It basically like turned into dust essentially. Like, it comes off pretty easy, which is good. He did this to like protect the metals and stuff, which it might have honestly helped, but it was a lot rustier than this beforehand. I rush treated a lot of it. I scrubbed quite a bit of it yesterday. I'm gonna continue to clean it out and clean more rust off. Once I get all of this Colonite off, then I'm going to prep it and I'm gonna coat it. The product I'm using is Armis Marine Hull Pro. People put it on the bottom of center consoles and smaller boats that if you don't want bottom paint, essentially, like it's another option. It goes on clear. It's a very smooth finish. So instead of adding drag in the water like bottom paint does, this essentially doesn't. It does the opposite. It creates more efficiency on hulls of boats of that size. But I'm gonna put that product under here because it's clear, it's smooth, it's shiny, it's got a nice finish. And being in the lower position, you can't really tell how the hinge setup is, but this cutoff line right here at the prop speed is slightly above water line. So when this is in the all the way up position, the prop speed coated part is what stays underwater, what lives underwater. Everything above is, you know, lives out of water. I didn't really want to cover it all with prop speed, to be honest with you. I still want to be able to have access or just ease of getting hardware off and such. And if it's all gummed up with prop speed, that'd just be a pain to get rid of. But I think a better move is going to be this ceramic product. Our swim platform has anodes as well. We were able to sand them down and save them. They looked a little crustier than this a couple days ago, but there is enough material there to continue to use. We're only going to replace what we need to replace, right? So these still have life in them. So we sanded them down, popped them back on. The stern thruster, zincs, these needed done, so these just got replaced as well. This is other stuff that you're going to be checking for under your boat. Our trim tabs have anodes as well. They needed to get ordered though. They didn't have them in stock. This is also coated with prop speed. It's holding up fine. This to me doesn't need to be done yet. We'll do this on our next haul. The coating is pretty much 100% intact. Now, as you can see in the rudder, you know, it's worn down there. Same with the prop. Here I still have good material left. I'm gonna let it ride. There's also zincs here on the hull. There's two on the other side also. These were really worn down, so we're actually gonna get these replaced, but they had to order them, so they're not on yet, but they will be going on. Our underwater lights are also coated with prop speed, but we're having some pretty good wear here. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these guys recoated as well. Current project for me is getting rid of all of this old metal polish. That's what I'm working on right now. To do that, I basically have a little nylon bristle brush. I have a couple of them depending on what space I'm trying to get into. It's just a little basic boat soap. And I'm just coming here, just giving her a nice scrub. And that's really enough to take this off, which is sweet. It's not on there, super good, so comes right off. A little scrub, a little rinse, boom. So I'm doing that with every last piece. I mean, there's some tight crevices that got done, and then I'm also gonna rush treat it too. Total side note, this guy right here is called a cooling tower, and it basically is an outdoor radiator using water, a fan, and it cools down water and pumps it into our boat, and it goes right into our chiller system. So instead of having to use salt water through these pickups, we literally just get to use fresh water from this cooling tower, It runs through our chillers and we're able to run our air conditioning while being out of the water. Super sick. I definitely recommend, especially in Florida when it's super hot and muggy. I'm trying to keep the cabin, you know, nice and pristine on this boat. No moisture and no extreme heat on the materials in the cabin if possible. It really prolongs the life of everything inside. So this thing's pretty cool. While you're here and the boat's out of the water, make sure you snap a shot of this plate so you know all the specs for the swim platform lift. Making some decent progress here. A couple hours in at this point, like at least 3. The hard part is getting all the way up in here. There was not a spot that was missed, you know, as far as the colonite application goes. So getting up in these small little parts like here, corners up in there. I'm gonna have to get a toothbrush for some of these tighter spots, but I got a good amount of it. It's just taking a while, it's time consuming. Good shoulder workout though, so just jamming some tunes and plugging away. That is down. And shades are kind of cooked. All good though, part of the fun. I'm hungry. I'm gonna take a lunch break now. Got probably 85% of it done. I also gotta go to the store and pick up some other nylon brushes that can get into tighter spots, because the little toilet bowl scrubber thing that I had it's doing well, but it can't get in every spot. So lunchtime, Home Depot, let's take a break. One thing that never gets old is walking up to a beautiful truck. So happy I got a truck again. I hadn't had one for a couple years, but that has now changed. Oh yeah. Have arrived at the lunch spot. Let's give this a rip. I'm starving. Love having a big truck. Pretty easy winner right here. Boom. Snapper with some Thousand Island dressing on a roll. Let's go. Let's go. And that is a wrap for the lunch. It's pretty good. The snapper sandwich, it was super carb loaded. It tasted good, but man, on a hoagie, breaded fish that was fried, and then French fries as the side, got me feeling like taking a nap. I got a nice pot belly right now. Can barely fit my seatbelt on, to be real. I actually had to unbutton the top button on my shorts. Honest moment here. All right, Home Depot bound. Gonna pick up some different nylon bristle brushes. Maybe, well, I have some toothbrushes on the boat, so I'll probably use some of those. They're for guests, but you know what? They're gonna have a different use today. I'm gonna get some other nylon bristle brushes too that can fit in some of these tight areas that my little toilet bowl scrubber thing wouldn't fit in. So hopefully I can find what I need. I'm sure I will. It's Home Depot. And then some blue Loctite for those anodes on my bow thruster so they don't vibrate out again. Well, being that one side of the bow thruster anode unscrewed itself by not having Loctite, I don't see why the other side wouldn't back itself out over time. So while we're here, I got my handy dandy, ridiculously long extension Allen on an electric ratchet, and let's pull it out. Dude, I love these things. So great. A little bit of yummy blue Loctite. Hand tightening so I don't strip it with an electric ratchet. Get in there pretty good. Finish the rest of the way. See it? That's definitely in there. One more. Same thing. So the main reason we came to the yard is to install some deck sockets. We got it here. The receiving end, essentially, for our handrails that we're putting on our swim platform. We had them custom made, And same with these sockets that are going in the deck. So it's a fully custom project. I'll show you guys a little bit about what we're gonna do. So there's already 2 existing deck sockets here that were put in kind of as a trial to see how the fit and everything works. And it's honestly great. So obviously what you're seeing is the top side of the deck socket. The reason we got hauled is because underneath of this, here's an example right here. This is one right here. Here's the top that you're seeing. And on the back side, we have a nut that's threaded on back here. So you have to drill through the swim platform and you need access to the back side to put this nut on. So we have to get hauled out of the water. And underneath of this, the backside is a little tricky. But how this works is once these are installed, just like this piece, the leg will go inside of the socket like so. Now, this leg gets attached to our handrail right here in this half moon shape. And basically this piece will get welded on the handrail. 2 of these legs per handrail. So these 2 sockets that are installed right now are for the center handrail, right? So there will be 2 of these on the bottom and they both slide in like that. And then whenever you're ready to pull them out, you should pull them out. They're tapered, so as you go deeper in, they get tighter and they lock in pretty good, not gonna lie. It might take some force to get these out, to be honest, if they've been in for a while. So I'm gonna take you guys in the crew room, AKA my storage for right now. All right, so these are the water lines for the cooling tower that we have. It's going to my air conditioning. So here are the handrails that I'm talking about. We got 6, I ordered 3, they sent me an extra 3. I guess we're gonna have spares. It's one more thing to store. I'm not a fan of that, but also if these ever fall in the water, somehow, some way, we have backups. They came in a brushed finish like this. That's not gonna work for the boat. So I didn't have these made. Captain prior to me designed and kind of had these made, and it was already in the works when I took the job. So they all came brushed, but I took them to my local polisher, and I mean, he made it look like jewelry. He did really good here. So essentially, imagine this is the bottom of the rail, right? Just so I can show you how these legs go on. The legs go on just like this, right? Perfect fit. And I can even show you on this guy right here. All right, so, boop, perfect fit. They get welded on, but we're not welding these on until I have the deck sockets installed, all of them. Once all of them are installed, then what we're gonna do is we'll place each of these in the socket, and then we'll grab the handrails one at a time, and we'll lay the handrail into this half moon shape here. And once we get the handrail straight up and down, we don't want the handrails to be a little off. We want them to be exactly straight, right? So once they're exactly straight and we've determined that they're perfect, my welder is just gonna do a small tack weld on each leg just to hold it in place, and then he'll take the handrail with the legs tack welded onto his shop and he'll finish the weld. He'll, you know, take it to his shop so he can take his time and do a really nice weld on it. So I have 8 of these. There's already 2 in, and it's only 2 of these per handrail. So 1 handrail for those 2. My second handrail right here is gonna be an additional 2. My third handrail over there will be an additional 2. So I'm putting in 4 additional sockets for this handrail on the outside and this handrail on the outside. The center one already obviously has them in. So I have 8 of those sockets total. So I'm putting 4 in for these additional handrails here, but the additional 4 are gonna go on each side. So I'm gonna have 2 here. I haven't decided exactly where. Determining where I'm gonna put these 2 side ones particularly is going to be judged by underneath and what our access is like under. Now, these 6 sockets that are going here, 2 that are already obviously here. The 6 here, I have a template for that. The company that made the railings made the template with the radius of the swim platform incorporated. Now, radius, essentially, our swim platform isn't squared off. It's not like a straight flat piece. It has like a small curve to it. So we wanted the handrail to have the same curve with it, right? So the template that I got allows for that. But the 2 on the outside, we'll decide where those are getting installed based off of access underneath. Now the 2 that we're putting on each side of the swim platform on the outside that aren't for the handrail are for some accessory poles that we had custom made. Check this out. This is what I had custom made. Now this is, the pole itself is aluminum and it's powder coated white. And it's got the same tapered fitting, just like the legs that go on the handrails, same exact fitting. And then I went ahead and just put a Smith rod holder in here. Now this rod holder is just anodized aluminum. Honestly, beautiful. Looks like jewelry. I really like these ones because they're fully adjustable and they clamp specifically onto the diameter of whatever pole or handrail you're putting them on. Some of these fishing rod holders are flat on each end of this clamp. These are rounded and they really grab what you're putting them on. If they're flat, the thing is that they're gonna just slide and twist around, so it doesn't help. Also, they are adjustable right here where that crack is, so you can pivot them at whatever angle you want. So point of these, just go right in here, right? And you can put your rod in there if you want. So these are really, I mean, really strong. I can put a lot of force on them. I mean, now the pole is bending a little bit, but the base is just, I'm pushing on it. They're locked in, they're really good. So you can troll off this if you want. I've already used it for high-speed trolling and it holds up. Even with a 50 wide, with an Islander setup and like a 38 ounce weight, you know, it's still holding up fine. Now the idea with these poles is I have 4 of them. The 2 here, the 2 sockets here, the 2 deck sockets here are gonna be for these 4 poles. Now, I don't necessarily plan on trolling from them. I can, but I don't plan on it. We're using these ones right here that are on the base of the handrail. So they're pretty strong. I like trolling just with 2 50s, 1 on each, good spread there. And it's got a nice height to it too. We can troll from down here if we want, but what's gonna happen is the handrail that's going here and here and here, the 3 across, really are for safety, so nobody goes overboard. We're pulling in Monster Wahoo, which we already have on the boat. It's pretty sick, I'm not gonna lie. There's nothing keeping you from just, you know, woo, going right off into the water. So when you're trying to gaff a fish too, and you're leaning over, it can be a little dangerous. So we're having these railings put up so that you have something to lean on when you're fighting a fish. And just, you know, safety too. We don't want people to just be easily able to fall off the back of the boat. So that's why we're putting them on here. It's exciting. It's a cool custom project. I'm into it. I like it. So I can't wait to show you guys like the process from start to finish. But yeah, these poles, what I'm gonna be putting in these rod holders, I'll have like my gaff in one. I may put a net in one of them. It's like spare rods, like to be ready to be used essentially. Maybe set up for like a pitch bait or something, or a top water. You never know. We'll see as we go. I also have another idea of, again, so the pole is what goes in. You can attach whatever you want to the pole. So one of my ideas was to use 2 of these poles that are over on one side and putting a cleaning station, like a fillet table, on both. So having, you know, one there, one here, and then making an attachment that goes to the bottom of a fillet table that can grip onto these poles like this. Some exciting stuff, not gonna lie. I'm pretty pumped because nobody, look at this thing. We're not on a Viking, we're on a motor yacht. It's pretty cool that we're able to fish this thing and that the owner's down to, because a lot of people that have these motor yachts that I've worked for, it's just luxury cruising and sightseeing. And this particular guy I work for, he's really cool and he likes to do active stuff. So I'm excited to see where the adventures lead us on this, but this project alone is really cool. All right, everybody, thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. If you guys want to see more, click the subscribe button or click the bell notification to get more notifications of when I post more stuff. More coming with this project and many others. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned.